Hi, my name is Timothy Papandreou. I'm the founder of Emerging Transport Advisors. We are an advisory firm that works with investors, with government, and with other institutions to understand and prepare for the big change in transportation, moving towards automation with a shared, electric, connected, and automated future. So, the future role of road infrastructure with autonomous vehicles will happen in several ways. One is that the roads themselves will become designed differently because we can move people in autonomous vehicles of all different shapes and sizes. So the traditional roads will no longer be used. We can actually move more people using less space. And we can also redesign the road infrastructure so that it's much more adaptive to the changes in our society, whether more people want to walk or bicycle or use the trottinettes, the e-scooters, or more public transport or more carpooling. But also the roads will change in terms of the curb, the actual connection between the footpath and the actual road. That space will change as well, whether it's picking up or dropping off people, picking up or dropping off things, parcels, or services. And so digitizing the curb and managing all that space is going to become a big role for roads. So the roads will become much more than just a road. They'll become a platform for all of this interactive mobility and interactions with the cities. So the way that autonomous vehicle technology will help reshape our streets and our cities will come in different forms. If we are looking at autonomous vehicles as the technology, not the actual vehicle itself, it's going to help us not require people to own their cars. If people don't own their cars, they can use services that are shared. And those shared services will mean that there will be less need for parking because there'll be less cars on the road. There'll be more sharing of these services, which means that we won't need as much car parking structures. And those car parking structures can be transformed into either new uses that a city would like. Maybe they want to turn those parking structures into storage or into some sort of maintenance facility, or change it completely and turn it into housing or parks or schools or whatever the city needs. On streets, because we'll be having less cars needing to park, because autonomous vehicles don't need to park, they can pick up and drop off people and things all the time, the curbs now can be reshaped so that we can grow more areas to sit and have gardens and parks. We can have wider sidewalks because more people will be wanting to walk. We can actually reallocate space in the street to designate more space for people to walk or bicycle, or even to take more public transport. The future of AV technology is not around a vehicle type, it's around the technology. So if it has a motor and an engine in it, it will be automated. So whether it's a small pod for one person or a large pod for 50 people, it's very flexible. And the streets will be designed accordingly to that as well. Existing streets and future streets will be much more flexible as we have more of these services coming online. Yes. So some of the challenges, there's many, but some of the challenges that come forward with this new automated technology for city officials and other people in the policy space is to ensure that they manage that the transport system still remains interoperable, connected, and equitable for everybody. We don't want just some technology for only a few people. This has to be for everybody. So what that means is that the city officials really need to be very clear about what they want their cities to look like, how they want their transport system to perform, and what are the right mixes and the right tools to make this thing actually work better for everybody. So one way that a city official can do this is to be very clear that the streets are for people, it's for everybody, and that AV technology is just one piece of the overall puzzle to make this all work. The second thing that they can do is to be very clear about how they want this AV technology to work for their city. If it's to move the most people in the most safest and efficient way, and to move things in the most effective way, that means the streets can be reshaped so that people can walk, they can bicycle, they feel safer to be on these different modes and be more active so that we have a healthier, happier, and more socially inclusive population. So some other challenges that city officials will be facing with the oncoming change with automation technology is understanding how to finance their existing infrastructure and their new infrastructure and their services. With the change in how people use their cars, if they become shared, electric, connected, and automated, it helps the environment, it helps the people, it helps the economy, it helps all these things, but it does reduce the finances for the city. Less car parking fees, no more parking fines, no more petrol taxes. All these things start to eat at the budget. So the way that the city officials can work with this is to start looking at how they're going to monetize and digitize the curb space, so that when there is a pickup and a drop-off, when there is a movement on the street, that everybody pays their fair share, so the city can actually have the resources it needs to make sure that the system is equitable and financeable for the future. Another challenge area that the city officials will need to face is the regulatory environment. How do they regulate a technology that we don't know how it actually works? And one of the things for me that I've being asked to look at is to make sure that we ask the questions: prove that it's safe to be on the street, prove that it detects pedestrians and it can actually handle pedestrian detection and people on bicycles and what we call vulnerable road users, and then make sure that it's actually a technology that's available for everybody, so that it isn't just an exclusive service, it's actually part of the overall transport system and it's available to everybody in the public. So the equity piece for the elected officials with regulation will be very important. The other thing they can look at is how they permit these services in their city to make sure that they're looking at these vehicles actually meeting their goals. It shouldn't just be there because it's a fun new idea. Does it meet its goals? Can it get more people to their places safer, cleaner, greener, more affordable? If they can meet those things, then we should be seeing a lot of success with autonomous vehicles.